Alright guys, we have a next video here and it's going to be on how to handle a bully. How to deal with bullies, right? This is a very important, topic for me which I take seriously because as a young kid, I was bullied and also I have kids of my own too, right? So it's very important and you know that school has started back. So now a lot of kids going to school, middle school, elementary, high school, a lot of those kids are getting bullied, right? So what's the best way to deal with a bully? Bullies come in all, size and shapes, right? You can have a guy that's bullying you who is smaller than you. Or you can have a guy that's bullying you that is bigger than you, right? But they're all going towards the same thing. They're trying to put fear into you. They're trying to kind of put you down, and some of them just want to put a beating on you, like hit you, punch you, so bullies, as a sense, it can go a lot of different ways now because you have the internet. So they have something called cyberbullying, right, which is basically as it sounds, cyberbullying. So they got people that will be online and sometimes they will troll your channel or troll whatever social media you're using, and they will just put down rude remarks, negative comments, just strictly negativity completely, and they will hate on you, and they're looking for you to react to them because that's how they will win. They're looking for you to give them a response, and they're looking for you to feel bad and kind of feel down and maybe give up and close the channel down, right? Like a lot of celebrities, they get a lot of bullying from cyberbullies, and a lot of them close the channels down because they don't want to deal with it no more, because it's a lot of hate that's coming towards them. And I remember a lot of negativity all the time is not good. It's bad energy, right? You don't want to deal with that on a consistent basis because then it can put you down and then you could start being negative yourself, right? So there's different type of bullying. There's bullying, the realistic way on the outside. You go to school, and then you have the computer. The thing about the computer, though, the cyberbullying, is that you can just close the computer down. Censor your comments. You can block the person that's cyberbullying you, right? Or, like I said, you could respond to them, but again, sometimes that's feeding into what they want you to do. But like I said, no, and I'm going to say this: the dog with the loudest bark is usually the one that's afraid, right? So sometimes you might be at school and you have this guy that's like coming in your face and yelling and pushing you around. The reason why he's behaving that way because he's afraid, right? And maybe something in his life happened, or not sure, some insecurity somewhere, or he just feel like he needs to do that just to boost his ego, to bring him up, so he feels good. So he feels good when he push around maybe a little guy, right? So bullying is a thing where, from what I learned, if you ignore it and don't pay it no attention, it will keep coming at you, right? And then more will come at you. There are different kind of bullying now, because you have cyberbullying and you have realistic bullying, like at school, at the workplace, completely different, right? You have to remember now, on cyberbullying, sometimes when the person commenting your page leave a dirty comment, they want you to reply because that give them fuel, that give them energy, and that also can help them channel out depending on what social media platform you're working on, right? Say like a celebrity has a page and you go on there and leave a dirty comment, and then the celebrity sees it and like and then he just respond to it. That's giving that other guy power, because now the celebrity respond, and the celebrity maybe have a ton of followers and is well known, so people are gonna see, man, who's this guy leaving dirty comments on the celebrity? And then the celebrity is responding, and then they want to see the whole story between the guy that left a dirty comment and then the celebrity responding. It's like a fight back and forward fight, and I mean that's how it's been going on the internet now. And there's negative comments back and forth, and they kind of give like a kind of like a story, and some people love that. It's like drama, right? But it can help the other person out who is not a celebrity and who don't have the following, who is not known. Just the simple fact because the celebrity responded, right? Just gave him power. So it's kind of slightly different with the cyber world, but on the street, on the school, at workplace, bullying, you have to face them eventually. You have to face them eventually, because if you don't face them, especially at school, it could start with one bully and you don't face him. Then it could go to 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have tons of bullies just coming at you consistently every day for the rest of your life. So you have to one day face the bully. It's the only way you're gonna get rid of the bully, in my opinion. Because I said, in real life situation, you could leave the school and go to a different school, but there's bullies everywhere. Bullies everywhere in the world. So you can't run from it. You have to face it, right? So for me, like I said, I was bullied when I was smaller. I was a small guy, you know, had a little stammer, a little stutter. My verbal skills wasn't good because I stutter a lot. Then I was shy, you know. And that's the thing, so I used to get pushed around a lot. And when I started studying martial arts, then I start becoming more confident in myself. Never really stutter as much. Then, you know, I start be able to defend myself. So when somebody come to me and like an example, this guy that was in, I believe I was in middle school. You know, I was sitting down in a chair, just classroom regular, and he was beside me. So then he's getting up out his chair and then taking his hand and slapping me in my head. So I'm like, dude, like what? Like I looked at him and said, hey man, like what's your problem? Like why are you doing that? Because that's what I really was, you know. I was just really very quiet guy, you know. I don't mess with nobody. And I said, why are you doing that? And it's like he didn't really say nothing. He's just laughing and kept on doing it. So I'm like, you know, I said to him, can you please stop, man? You know, because it's aggravating, you know. And he kept on doing it. And then the last time I did it, I just sidestep, blocked his hand, and just bring him down to the table, put his chest and face onto the table, and like pressed against his back of his head with my elbow, and just pressed down on him. And he was like, like you know, like kind of like screaming like, And I'm like, yo, like I told you to stop, man. Like, you know, you're forcing me to do something that I don't want to do. You know, you're messing with me like that. You're actually bullying me. You know, and then he like screaming like, and I just let him go. That was it. He never did that ever again. He never even attempted it again. Never attempted nothing again. Like when he see me, he don't say nothing. As a matter of fact, he became nice to me after a while because he knew that I could, if I needed to, I could put him in his place if I had to, right? There was the next incident that I mentioned in my other video. I was jumped by maybe like 6 guys and picked up by my legs and my hands, kind of like carry me. They were carrying me, swinging me around and pulling me on the ground, and I just pulled my hand forward, and there was just this guy hand was on my hand, the guy that was carrying me, and I pulled his hand towards my mouth. I just bit him. I just bite his hand, man, bit out the flesh out his hand, and then he like let go of my hand, and I fell to the ground, and then he started jumping, screaming, and holding his hand. All the other guys around him just let my legs go, and they're like looking like, what the hell? Like, what the hell happened to this guy? And then they're just like, just shocked, and they just left me alone. And then after that, did those guys bother me again? Nope. They never even came close to me again. They don't even bother with me anymore, because I put one guy in his place. Usually that what usually happens when there's a bunch of people bullying you. Once you knock down one, usually the other ones will just walk away. Because like I said, The dogs with the biggest bark, the loudest bark, are the ones that are usually afraid. They try to intimidate you with, maybe cursing, slang, and talk loud and all these things. But big bark, small bite. Once you stand up to them, put them in the place, majority of the time they back down, right? So for me, like I said, school is starting for the children. Them. This is for the parents out there. There is self-defense where you have to defend yourself in certain situations. You can't make people consistently run over you and push you around unless that's going to happen your entire life. And what you take from elementary school, from middle school, you can take it all the way to high school and college and into your real life. Wherever you're going to go in life, you're going to take it with you. So you have to stand up. You have to face your fears or face the bully or whatever. You have to stand up for yourself. So for me, for the children, them, I would get them into some kind of self-defense classes. Martial arts is good, for realistic kind of thing, karate is good because karate will teach you foundation. We teach you the basics, because you need basics, right? It teach you the discipline, right? The confidence, because that's what I start with, right? Then I will get them into some form of boxing, right? Knowing how to use the hands, uppercuts, body shots, right? Because in karate, you learn self-defense, but sometimes some of the techniques might not work like it should, right? It happens, right? It all depends on the person too. Like I said, there's not this style as a person who's delivering the techniques, right? Also, sometimes in karate, a lot of times the footwork, the movement works excellent, but a lot of times the guys are not moving head up the center line, like their head is straight up. In boxing, we show you how to slip, bob and weave the shots. You move your head off center line, so that's something that's good to learn. Wrestling is great to learn, especially in high school. You can join wrestling. I wish I did wrestling in high school. You can take up wrestling in high school. That's excellent to learn. You build up your confidence. If you getting bullied or whatever, you jump into wrestling, you're going to see how high your confidence is going to get. And when people try to push you around, they won't be able to deal with you, So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is also good too, right? You can learn submissions, learn how to maneuver the body in certain positions that you probably, you wouldn't know how to do. It goes along with the wrestling and the boxing and the karate and everything else. So I would suggest that for a more self-defense kind of thing, right? As far as, for the kids in school, middle school, elementary, so forth. Like I said, in real life situation, you don't want to end up on the ground. That's why I mentioned to pick up karate and boxing. And then I mentioned wrestling is good also. But you don't really want to play around too much on the ground, especially even in high school and those things, because they have gangs them where a bunch of guys pile up together in one team and they're all bunks on one guy. So you don't want to play around too much on the ground because you get stumped out. You get freaking kicked and you get Timberland in your face and all these things. So you don't want to be playing around on the ground. No, you have to use common sense now, right? So sometimes verbal skills come into play, which you're gonna, have to use that sometimes. It's not all the time you'll be able to defend yourself with your fists. Sometimes you might have to walk away, depending on how much bullies you're gonna be encountering, right? If you have 5-6 guys, you're just by yourself. I mean, to fight off all those guys could be difficult, But I said in my situation, I was jumped by at least like 6, and the difference is that they were pulling me and they had all my limbs, so I had an opportunity to pull one close to me and bite him. If you have 5 guys and you have one guy out of the bunch come up to you and and he's pushing you, and you can defuse the situation or you can corner him with something, sometimes the other ones will just fall off. They were like, oh crap, this guy does knock this guy down, and then the other ones will get, kind of scared, right? Like I said, these bullies are usually afraid, right? But again, you have to use common sense now, right? You have to use verbal skills because that's that's something that can help you a lot if you can talk. You can talk your way out of certain things, right? It can also save your life too. Like I said, when it comes to street fighting and like sports and sparring and all these things, is completely different. Street fight, man, you have to use your street knowledge. You have to be street smart too. You know, it's not all the time just gonna like just start kicking and punching like that. Because again, a man could have a weapon on him and you get shot. Right? In school, kids could have weapons too. They can use anything as a weapon. Use a pencil. You know, some guys carry knives to school. Some guys even have guns on them. It depends on what school you go to. So again, you have to use street smarts too. You know, you have to use your verbal skills, and also you have to look at your surroundings and look at, you know, the environment that you're in. And if you're only facing one guy and he's pushing you around, and you have opportunity to where he pushes you and you can like lock up with him and put him in a hold. If it's just him alone you're fighting, or put him to the ground, then it's there for self-defense, then you can do that, right? But if it's a bunch of guys, then you know, you want to try your best to use your verbal skills and never turn your back though. Don't turn your back on anybody. Always keep your eye on every single one of them. You keep your eye on everything around you. Your whole surrounding, you have your eyes looking everywhere. But keep your eye on them. Never turn your back on your opponent. Never turn your back on your attacker. Never do that. Keep your eye on them. Once your eye leave your opponent, that's where you end up face down in the gutter or face down on concrete. And then foot is stamping in the back of your head and your head bouncing off the pavement. So you never want to take your eyes. But as I said, if you can verbally talk your way out, that's self-defense too. But if you have to use your hands and that's your last resort, or you use your teeth, or use your toes, or your fingers, or you know, use a ruler or a pencil, and that's all you have, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I mean, that's, again, it might sound violent, right? But you gotta understand something. Sometimes with these kids nowadays, they take it a little too far, right? And some of them will do things to you and they don't realize the damage that they're doing to you, as far as maybe punching you or kicking you in your face. They don't understand that when they're doing that, they can give you brain damage. They could injure you to a point where you're never the same anymore. Some of them don't really understand that, right? They just go for it because they think, you know, it's cool, and you know, they're just pushing this guy around, and you know, people are gonna love them afterwards, or they're gonna be, you know, people are gonna fear them. So they don't understand the concept that, yo, you can really hurt this guy with what you're doing, mentally and physically. So if you have to defend yourself in, you know, whatever you need to do, you know, it is just what it is, right? So that's basically it, guys. Hopefully this video helped you out. If you want to have any questions, ask me anything, just leave it down in the comment box down below. As far as the cyberbullying thing goes, is different than actually on the street or at school. Actual school in real life situation, because cyberbullying, you can always block the person. You can disable your comments. You know, you can just ignore them. I mean, if you really want to, you know. If you need to say something to them though, that's fine too. But you say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Miss, if you get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Miss, if you get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Miss, if you get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Hey, preacher man, tell me, heaven is under the earth. Hey, he don't know what life is really worth. Come again. Alright, so you stand up for your right, man. You have to. Don't let anybody push you around, man. You know what I'm saying? Stand up for your right, man. But you need to know this though. Like I said, you gotta know the situation that you're in. And you have to understand that you're gonna stand up for your right, but you use street smarts too in certain situations and know that, right? You can walk away from certain things, and you can live to fight the next day, right? So you have to be smart, right? You're not gonna be like, you know, a bunch of guys are, you know, coming to you on the street or jumping you, and then you just be like, you know, oh man, let's kick all these guys' asses. You know, I think I can do it. You know, I do martial arts, and the guys have knife and guns. You know, most likely you're gonna get killed, right? So, or you know, just the environment, certain situations. I want to say you need street smarts too. That's the next thing you need to understand to be street smart. So it's not everything that's gonna be like, yo, I'm just gonna just freaking kick this guy in the face, and then that would be it. You kick him in the face, and then you never know that he had like two other homies behind him, or two other homies in the corner rushing towards you with bats and knife and gun. Yeah, I tell you, man, it happens, man. You don't know. You can't predict what's gonna happen in the street. You can't predict that, man. Same thing if you're getting bullied in school. You can't predict the outcome. You know, this is just, you know, you for the parents, them, you know, you put your kids, them, you know, into self-defense classes. Like I said, karate is good. You know, get them into boxing, you know, something to build up the confidence. And once the confidence start building, it will help you with your speech. And you'll be so confident in yourself that you don't even have to throw any more punches. You can basically talk your way out of certain things, you know, just from having confidence. Or you can reach to a point where, you know, the guy's pushing you, like what happened to me, and then I just sidestep and grab his hand and just put him to the ground and put my elbow in his back, or you can put your knee in his spine, right in the lower back, so he can't move, and hold him there and, you know, say, hey man, you know, I don't want to hit you, I don't want to hurt you in any way, but, you know, if you keep forcing me, then, you know, I have to put a whooping on you. And then you say, if I let you go, that's going to be it, right? And you tell him that first. You say, if I let you go, are you going to leave me alone? And you tell him that, and if he just say, yeah, then you just let him go, and that's it. And if he comes again, you do the same thing to him again. But you have to know your surroundings, you have to know your environment and the situation that you're in and who you're encountering at the moment. So it could be different if you're encountering 5 guys, you know, to just sidestep one, you know, you have to deal with the other 4. But then if you knock one out, which usually, you know, you usually have one guy out of the bunch that will come to you first and step to you. And then usually if you can get a hit off on him and he drops, usually the other 4 might leave you alone. Or it could be just different scenarios, man. It could just be all 5 of them at one time. So all 5 of them just bomb rush you and then knock you down and start stomping on you. So there's just so many different scenarios that can happen that is hard to predict. But that's about it right there, guys. So that's my video on how to handle a bully. Right? I said leave comments down below. I'm going to be making my prediction video very soon. So I believe there's no fights for this week. So it's going to be next week. I believe September 8th. Alright? And other videos coming too. I have so many videos, man, that I don't put up, man. So many videos. I just been doing other things, man. Alright? So you guys can keep on kicking. And